With just an entrance ceremony as we go into the temple. And when I ring the bell, let's all line up. If you're out there on the live stream, I just invite you to imagine that you're part of the ceremony. And as each one of us enters the temple, set an intention, something great for you. Why are you here in the temple? If today could be the best session ever, what would it feel like? What would it be like? Set that intention. As you enter the temple, you leave everything else behind. Just imagine that. This is a space of potential and awesome inside yourself. All right, I'll just wait for what Lou's writing, and then I'm going to ring the bell. All right, so let's line up. I like when I think about a ceremony like this, it's almost like I trigger some kind of feeling inside myself, some kind of strength and focus. And as I look at this enlightened being, I like to remind myself of the times that I was strongest, of the purpose inside of me, of kindness inside all of us, and the awesomeness inside all of you. And as you come in, I hope you just create a moment that's nice for you too. So welcome everybody. To add to this opening ceremony, I'm just going to do some intention setting. So I'll set my intention, and I invite you, if you like what I say something similar to yourself, feel it. Or if you'd like to change this intention or shape it just for yourself, that's fine too. So my intention for this session is to share some beautiful meditations. I hope that we have insights into how to steer our mind and how to make great feelings. But I really just want us to have a very nice time together. We're going to do a relaxation meditation, and I hope you get to feel very peaceful and calm. I hope you learn this technique. It's something you could keep doing. I hope that you're like, wow, I can make amazing feelings in myself. I'm going to keep practicing that. So that's my intention for the relaxation meditation. Then we're going to do a mindfulness meditation. And I hope that ideally some of you will go into states of deep focus. The noise of the mind will settle, and you'll be left feeling just powerfully present. I hope some of you notice how to direct your attention. I hope some of you learn how to drop thoughts or feelings so that you can do that any time in life. Anything that's not helping you, drop it. Just purely directing your mind where you want. But even if you don't have any of those insights or learnings, I hope that it's just a nice experience. It's interesting to watch your mind and to have a little bit of time about peace. And then afterwards we're going to have a compassion meditation. And my intention is that you come out of that feeling a lot more kindness and caring for yourself, that you feel more patience and positivity and warmth and good intention for the people in your life, that you feel and understand that the way we all treat each other spreads, and that together we all get to make the world. And so you're driven by this intention to make a kinder, happier, more understanding, more forgiving, more patient world. And maybe even imagine like how beautiful the world would be if everybody meditated on compassion and just lived in love. But even if you don't have a profound experience, I hope that it's nice. You just get to sit and enjoy kindness and appreciate your friends and just have a little bit of warmth and good feelings towards you and the people close to you. So that's my intention setting for today. And I'll just be quiet for a moment for each of us to think about that, for you to set your own intention. And actually, there's one thing bigger that I'd like to say. I hope that what I just said sounded nice. But really what drives me to do these sessions, it's not just you being more aware, not just you being kinder and more patient. I actually want a world where people wake up, where you become the master of your consciousness. Everything in you is the things you choose, and we create a world of enlightenment. So yes, we're practicing relaxation, we're practicing watching our mind, we're practicing growing kindness. But I like to do these exercises as a step towards you being your most awesome self. I would love it if every day you just took your happiness dial and cranked it up and felt happier, that you laughed more, that you were more patient and calm, that you saw reactions or thoughts that don't help you, and you just imagined, what if that just didn't even exist? What if I just let go of that entirely? Who would I create myself to be? And then you got to practice and be the person that you choose to be. This is really my intention for these sessions. So yeah, I'll give you all a moment to consider that. All right, so the plan today is the 3 meditations. I'd like to have a little bit of time for discussion in between, but I also want us to go on this journey so we get relaxed, and then when we go into the other meditation, our mind's already calm, and then when we go into the compassion meditation, we're already focused. So I'm going to moderate the discussion to just make it positive, enjoying stuff from the meditation we just had, maybe some questions that we can do in a way that's chill, and then we're going to dive into the next meditation. Can I see a wave if that all sounds good? Or a really big wave if anyone has a pressing question or something? Okay, great. Well, to those of you who just joined us on the live stream, welcome. We're about to dive into meditation. And I invite everyone just to get comfortable. If you're brand new to meditation, we're just going to start with our posture, just so that we can let our body relax and be still. If you're sitting on a cushion, a meditation cushion, it can be nice to check in with your knees and maybe notice if they're down a little bit lower than your hips. People find that automatically aligns their spine and makes their legs feel better. And if you're in the seat, maybe you could sit up like I just did, or maybe you want to sit back and really settle down into the seat. And then you can just check in with your shoulders, maybe give them a little jiggle, pull them back, pull them up, then let them settle into a place that feels good. And let your hands come to rest in a place that feels nice. Then notice your hips and your lower spine. I just pushed my spine back and forwards. Maybe you're able to push it side to side. And then just stretch it up a little. Back and forward a little. Find a way of sitting with your lower spine that feels really balanced. And then you can do the same thing with your shoulder blades and your upper back. Just little micro adjustments. You may find a way of sitting that feels extra good. We can do the same thing with your neck. Just check in with your neck, move it around a little bit, and then find a posture that is dignified and powerful. I've just closed my eyes and I invite you to do so. And then we begin our relaxation meditation. We'll start by taking a very slow, deep breath. And with each slow breath you take, just really notice taking a slow deep breath. Breathing out is relaxing. Breathing in, maybe you feel your lungs expand or your shoulders. Maybe you enjoy the feeling of the air rolling into your nose. And I invite you to watch. If you set this intention of relaxing breaths, if you imagine your body being relaxed, your feelings being relaxed, your mind being relaxed, just set that intention and hold that intention as you keep taking deep, soothing breaths. As we guide ourselves into peace, sometimes it can be helpful to remember the most beautiful sensations you've had in meditation, what they felt in your body. Or if you're brand new to meditation, maybe you could imagine, what if you felt like you were floating? Your arms and legs became weightless. It may take 10 breaths to start to feel that, but as you keep imagining it, And just holding your intention on the soothing breaths and the peaceful feelings in the body. Notice how your mind is now. And for the next 10 breaths, imagine your mind being at peace. What would it feel like if everything settled? Just relaxation in your mind. And then set the intention for your whole self to be at peace. Not just in this moment. You are learning, you are cultivating, growing peace. Imagine how nice it would feel for you, your inner self, your core is peace. If anything comes to mind, imagine thinking about it from the mindset of perfect peace, of ease and empowerment. That you'll resolve anything and everything in a beautiful, easeful way. you might notice it feels like the peacefulness is weaving its way through your mind, filling you up with peace. We'll have just a little more of this peace, relaxation, meditation. So set your own intention for this next minute. What would you like to cultivate? What would you like to feel and practice? For the last 5 breaths of this meditation, just cherish each moment of what you've practiced. And then together we all gently come from the relaxation meditation back into the temple. For those of you who just arrived, our plan is to gently move from the relaxation meditation into a mindfulness meditation soon. We'll have a little conversation now, but try to keep the chill, so that when we go into the mindfulness meditation, we're still carrying this peaceful state of mind that we've made. If you just arrived, you could imagine that we got our body in a nice posture. We took some very relaxing breaths, and then we held the idea of our body and mind just being at peace, and just made each breath feel that more and more. So if anyone would like to share a nice feeling that the meditation made for them, or perhaps you had an insight or something you'd like to ask. We'll just have a little brief discussion. Oliver is there on the live chat. He says, hello everyone. It's great to have you here with us, Oliver. And if no one has anything they'd like to ask or share, Con, the legend.
I just want to say that I wish I was here more often. I have been busy a lot, doing a lot of qigong and being outside a lot and doing a lot of. I finished my first semester right now. So yeah, just want to say that I'm forever grateful that you guys do this, and I love you guys, and I hope this is gonna stay strong for many years.
Wonderful. Thanks. We're happy to have you here, and I appreciate the appreciation. I'm glad you're here. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to begin our mindfulness meditation. Just spontaneously bouncing off what Con said, I have found that when I am doing mindfulness meditation in larger groups, that can actually make my meditation a lot stronger. Just the idea that everybody is practicing concentration together, for some reason that brings strength to my concentration. So, to anyone who has not tried mindfulness meditation before, it's a kind of practice that it's the learning how to direct our mind. I'm not sure if you can hear my little one just outside the door. But mindfulness can teach us how we want to direct our attention. Am I able to stay present with you even when something is happening over there? I know someone's there to care for him, so I'm able to then just choose to stay present with you. And likewise, mindfulness meditation could help you in so many ways in our life. It's the ability in each moment to choose peace. When something might shake up the peace, it's the ability to choose, I'm going to focus on peace in myself. Or it's the ability to notice when we speak to ourselves in ways that are not kind or not helpful, and to intercept that and decide either to just give yourself some peace or perhaps to say something else to yourself. Just give me a moment. Someone's knocking on the door. I just invite everybody to take a moment to think about, if you were more aware of your attention, what are some of the ways that could help you? Neil, I'm guiding a meditation now. So this room has to be quiet. So can you please go to Mama? Thank you, God. I love you. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I was just reminded that was my 3-year-old, and we started these VR sessions when he was 1, and he used to come and sit on my lap and just meditate silently. And it's just so interesting to see how he's changed and evolved over the time. Anyway, so mindfulness meditation. People use that term for slightly different things. So I'm going to define the practice that we're going to do. We're going to be doing single-pointed concentration. So we'll put our attention onto one point of our breath. The reason that we do that is having just a single point is anytime your mind's thinking of something else, you'll notice, hey, I'm not on my breath right now. I'm coming back into my breath. If you imagine all the different thoughts and feelings that could be happening in your mind as like different spotlights going this way and that way, the intention of this meditation is to point every one of those spotlights into this single point inside your nose. Right now, here I am breathing. And then you notice some other part of your mind doing some other thing, and you're like, hey, we're going to focus here now. And bit by bit, your entire mind gets focused on this single point. Hopefully, with some practice, that feeling of all of your consciousness being unified feels amazing. It feels powerful. It feels spacious. One thing I found is that when we are able to create that concentrated consciousness, it makes our mind stronger. I don't know if you've ever gotten a magnifying glass and concentrated the light, and you can draw on the paper with the light, or people make artworks where they etch into wood with concentrated sunlight. And so I like to think of the statue in your mind. When you have the ability to bring all of your consciousness into something, the ways that we can transform ourselves or etch something else into ourselves is just magnified. If you choose to do a compassion meditation and your whole self is diving into the idea of how beautiful kindness is, that impacts you so much more than a mind that, and kindness is nice and all this other stuff, and kindness is nice. When your entire self is, wow, kindness is beautiful. It impacts you. It transforms you on so many more levels and so much more powerfully. So we'll be practicing putting all of our attention onto the breath. One thing that's amazing about trying to do this is if you've been practicing for a while, you can get into that focused, powerful state. It's awesome. But for most people, it's just so interesting to notice all the things that your mind is doing. And so I invite you, when we meditate, your intention is this single pointed focus, and you're going to just keep coming back into that more powerfully and longer, as much as you can. But also just be fascinated to see what's happening in your consciousness. Thousands or millions or perhaps billions of things a moment. Every little thought, every part of every word, every little part of each feeling. If you start imagining an elephant, like just see how much happens in your mind. Some part of your mind drew the ears and drew the body. Some part of you felt the color and the size and the memories of an elephant. Like, every little thing that happens in your consciousness, you can just see how profound your mind is as you're trying to look so closely to bring it all into focus. It's this fascinating journey into seeing your mind and also steering your mind. There are many, many more benefits, but I'll just say one more before we begin. One thing that's really wonderful about this practice of single-pointed meditation is if I start to think about something that happened today, and then I decide, no, it's breathing meditation time, I'm going to come back to my breath. Somehow I have to steer my mind back into the breath. And just doing that teaches your brain, teaches your consciousness this amazing skill. What is it to just let go of something? Or what is it to redirect how I feel or redirect where my attention is? So I could talk for a while about how profound this letting go is and how deeply we can let go of things as we practice this. But for now, I just want to put that idea out there. We're focusing our mind, like all the laser beams, onto this single point. We're learning how to navigate our mind and be more aware of our mind. So, with that introduction, let's now begin our mindfulness meditation. Again, we can check with our posture. Sitting up straight. Imagine your body feeling so comfortable you could forget about it. And at the same time, it's energized and empowered. Just take a couple of breaths as you close your eyes and imagine your body being so comfortable you could forget about it. And at the same time, it's in a posture of dignity, of strength. And you can notice what's in your mind right now. Maybe you're thinking some words. Maybe you're thinking some images, some movies. Maybe you're still feeling your body. And we're going to bring our attention into our breath. Let's just start by taking a really strong breath, just to catch your attention. And then together we will refine that attention. So the next time you breathe in, just notice where you feel it the most. Maybe it's just inside the nostril, maybe it's at the back of the nostril. And I invite you to choose that point as your single point of attention. So we'll take a couple of breaths and try to just hold your attention on that spot. Maybe you noticed the beginnings of some other thoughts and it felt like your mind was moving away from that spot. Or maybe you noticed that holding your mind on that spot felt centering and anchoring. Maybe you noticed all the little moments in each of those breaths. And now we set the intention for our mind to become completely focused on that single point. If everything else disappeared, if even our thoughts disappeared, and we were just pure consciousness experiencing that single point. Maybe you'll notice the in-breath is cooler than the out-breath. Maybe you notice the smell of the in-breath and the sensations of the air coming out of your body. Maybe you hear the breath and you'll notice that the sound matches the way that the breath is flowing. More relaxing breaths sound more relaxing. Stronger breaths sound more intense. As you keep watching that single point, in subtle ways it will feel better and better, and it will sound more easeful and more easeful. And as we keep meditating on our breath, guide your own meditation, that single point of attention. And the moment your mind wanders, come back with more focus. You can play with, how does it feel to hold my attention in the breath? What is it to feel the sensations? What if I hold my attention there strongly? What if I hold my attention there gently? Watching your breath in every moment, fascinated as you learn how to guide your consciousness with the most fine-grained precision that you ever thought was possible. If you've just arrived, I invite you to set your intention for a few breaths, for your body to become still, for your mind to become still, just for a little while. We're practicing having all of our consciousness together in the breath. Or if you notice that your mind has wandered quite a lot, how is it to recreate that focus? To bring your attention back into that single point where you feel the breath the most. To hold your attention into that single point in space. To hold your attention into now, now, now. Feeling every moment of the breath. Imagine going deeper into the meditation. Any and every part of your consciousness unified in this moment, in this breath. Every moment that you've been noticing your consciousness is wonderful. Every moment that you notice your mind and bring it in deeper is wonderful. Just be fascinated by your consciousness, learning how to steer it, how to balance in that single point. Imagine as you become more and more aware, as more of your mind becomes unified, you'd notice ever more subtle things in the mind And like an artist who can use a smaller paintbrush for more detail, you're learning how to master your consciousness more intricately and more beautifully. Hey, we're doing a class right now. Could you guys be a little further away from the temple, please?
Oh, yes,
Thanks, man. As we reach the end of this mindfulness meditation, treat the next few breaths so preciously. Every opportunity that we get to become more conscious, it's such a gift. Cherish each moment of the breath. And let yourself imagine if you regularly practiced this awareness of each moment, it became stronger and more powerful and more spacious. If each moment of your day you felt more at ease, you felt a much bigger distance between what happens around you and your reaction. So much so that you could even imagine no reactions. Do you just get to choose to be awesome, loving, wise, or strong in every situation? And just like how exercising every now and then is good for you, exercising regularly is amazing. The body gets stronger, our energy levels become more present, we get healthier. The same's true of meditation. If you were to do this meditation every day, you will see steady improvements every week. The peace that you can access, the awareness, the power grows steadily. And that's not to mention all of the amazing surprise experiences that happen the more time we spend in deep meditation. And so we're going to gently come out of our mindfulness meditation. And from your awake mind, I invite you just to take a moment to reflect. How did you guide your mind? How do you feel now? Did you have any nice insights? Or what way did you find to hold yourself in the breath? Treat it like you're really learning how to be the captain of your own mental ship. And if anyone has anything they'd like to share or ask, now it's open to all of us. Mr. Legend?
Find it amazing when the human mind can truly bring their self to a deep realization and appreciate a really small thing that they may think is small in different situations, or when they're stressed. Like, oh, well, my mind is this, blah, blah, blah. But when you're actually meditating, you can notice and really appreciate how wonderful your mind is. And I just find that so fascinating that when we meditate or do something positive, that it brings back the energy that we're doing it, and then we feel it, and we're like, wow, this is so beautiful. That's all I want to say.
Thank you for sharing. Makes me feel it more. Thank you. Pops, you had something you wanted to share?
I just
You said I just, and then it went silent.
there we go. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing or anything really to define it by, but I noticed that both in like my life and with my meditation practice that um I'm not feeling positivity arrive from my meditation, but not negativity either. It's just more going toward a state of not feeling anything. I don't know.
Mm.
It's kind of weird.
In some meditation schools, they will say that is the goal. This equanimity of just perfect stillness. And I actually believe that our inner core is the stillness, and that whether you're happy or reactive, these are all just activity of the mind. And so some people will teach, hey, let's just get into that nothing. We're liberated. I've gone and sat in those caves with those monks, and I would rather have this core, this foundation of neutral, and then choose to put on top of that excitement or love or kindness or laughter. Some teachers would say, well, these are all constructions. It's time away from just the perfect freedom. So I would suggest when you're in meditation and stillness and you're getting into that place of neutral, feel that's a success. You know, if there's some situation in life that like upset you or makes you nervous, if you can just drop into neutral, that's a superpower. Like, hey, cool. All right, now that I'm in the neutral, what do I want to feel next? Or maybe I just want to stay neutral and ask myself, what do I want to do next? The next practice we're going to do today is growing kindness, growing compassion. And I hope that's a very different experience than letting the mind settle. And likewise, you can do happiness meditations and confidence meditations. People do meditations to imagine that their soccer skills are better or their baseball swing is better. Visualizing and rehearsing, we can create skills. And I truly know that happiness is a skill. Confidence is a skill. So I would, on the one hand, love this stillness that you can create. Think of that as like a foundation. It's the freedom that sets you free from all other reactions. And then from there, you then get to choose. What are you going to grow or cultivate?
That's really cool. It's like crafting the core, like mechanism is like completely neutral, and then it's like you're choosing what color to dye it.
Some of the people who critique, hey, don't go off into ecstatic happiness, they might say, well, then you're like actually dyeing the core. So yeah, I think we should have that core of freedom and then be able to throw in a lens that is dyed rose-colored or hilarious-colored or excitement-colored. Or you keep that core free and then be able to choose what you need in different scenarios. I saw a couple of hands. Con, you can go next. But who else had their hand up? Was it Knock? All right. Oh, I've got to move to be able to read. One of the most positive feelings I tend to get is from discovery. Could be a new trick in a game or a new solution to a math problem. Awesome. I would suggest that discovery is great. There are some people that won't get that awesome feeling as you do. And at some point you were like, yeah, this is great, it makes me better, and you started to appreciate it. And over the time, you've actually cultivated or trained yourself to feel even more of that positive feeling every time you notice a discovery. And you're probably better at noticing that you've done a discovery or a new skill than other people. Some people just might do it without even consciously labeling it that. So you've gotten really good at noticing it and really good at feeling good about it. The really good at feeling good kind of happens automatically, but it is something you've practiced. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. Every one of us, if we had more good vibes and celebrations each time we leveled up in life, that's beautiful. So thanks for sharing, Nock. And one of the reasons I like to be fine-grained in my analysis. You might just be like, hey, isn't it just cool that I'm excited or have these great feelings about discovery? Why do we need to say that I practiced it? Well, the reason is I want every one of us to be empowered, that we could all practice Knox skill and be like, oh, cool, I notice when I'm discovering things and I celebrate it. And over time, that will feel better and better. Or maybe Knock, you could be like, wow, really? The way that I feel is I've practiced myself there over the years. Whoa, maybe I want to feel 10 times as excited when I make a discovery. It's liberating our mind to be the designer. So thanks for sharing. Now, Con, maybe you were next, but perhaps there was also a hand over here. All right, Mr. Legend, what do you got?
Nothing in particular. I was just gonna let you guys know I'm private in depth, but I love being here with you guys, and I might be back sometime. But yeah.
The next thing we were going to do is a compassion meditation. So wherever your journey takes you next, I hope you cultivate some wonderful love and kindness. It's good to have you here.
I definitely will. Thank you. Alright, well, I'll do the bell stuff, but I'll leave you guys to it then.
All right. So our next thing will be the compassion meditation. Looking at what we just said, what is it that we can actually grow and practice? Intentional ways of being. And kindness and compassion and patience happens to be just something that I think most people know makes the world a better place. Is there any last comments or questions before we dive into this meditation? All right, so let's begin our meditation. Thanks everyone for being here. Let's dive into love. So you can just start by setting the intention. Wow, what would it be like to live in a world where everyone was just love and kindness for everyone all the time? It's probably too far out of where we think most of the time. It might take about 10 breaths to let our imagination just start to imagine. Wow, like every person I saw, I was just full of love for them. I just wanted them to be happy, to feel cared for and supported. No matter how someone's acting, I just had perfect patience, perfect understanding. What would it be like to be in a world where everyone was like that? And with that intention, we now begin our compassion meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and think of your friends, those who make you most happy or those you appreciate the most. Maybe you've thought of one or two people Maybe you've thought of a handful of people. And I invite you to set the intention that you're going to grow all kinds of care and kindness when you think of those people. I'm going to let your mind take itself. So setting the intention, when I go into the quiet, you'll be remembering good times. You'll be feeling happiness for them. You'll be appreciating them. You'll be wishing well for them. You'll be feeling how much you want to care for them and help them out of any negativity. You'll be feeling patience for them. You'll be feeling and thinking of things you'd like to say to them, how you'd like to listen to them. So as we begin this cultivation with those people who came to mind, just let your consciousness go through those feelings and those ideas and grow that when you think of these people, when you see these people, when you feel these people, you're growing all those positive qualities. You can treat this like our breathing meditation. You keep coming back into caring and kindness and positivity. Each moment you make it stronger. You make it feel better for you. You make it feel better for them. And now expand your circle of compassion. Think of other people in your life who didn't come to mind in that first chapter. And imagine giving them a smile, giving them more warmth in your voice. When you see them or when you think of them, just feeling more well-wishing towards them. And next we're going to expand our mind out even further. I want you to think of acquaintances. Perhaps people that you see regularly at work or at school or in the neighborhood. Or maybe even people who you might never have seen before, but that you know you'll run into. There's different people in the shops. There's different people around. Just think of all of those other people. And imagine that every one of them, whenever you see someone or think of someone, you are a source of kindness for them. Could just be in the way that you say hello. And imagine a world where everybody had this positive intention for everybody. And now imagine that you are an ambassador for that world. You are bringing that kindness to this planet. Every moment of patience, every smile, every encouraging word is a gift to this planet that makes this world kinder. And for the last part of the meditation, I just invite you to put your attention on you. And to give yourself some kindness. You know exactly what you need. And if there's a voice in some of you that says, no, you don't, well, I encourage you to set the intention to think positively about yourself. To practice happy feelings. To practice peaceful feelings. To notice how you talk to yourself and turn any criticisms or judgment, just turn them into, oh, here's something for me to practice. Let me imagine being great at this thing. Each moment with you, you're just enriching your life, cultivating a more beautiful state of mind, a more wonderful you. You might like to imagine giving yourself a hug as we all take 10 caring breaths. And then gently come out of the meditation. I'm feeling happy and caring, and it just makes me want to move my body in a way that's cozy and smiley. You just come out of this kindness meditation. Maybe you can remember the people that came to mind and send them a little smile in your imagination. Maybe you could imagine next time you see them, how are you going to feel? Maybe the kinds of things you might try to say. And when you're ready, you can just look around the temple and have a little smile and feel some caring and some positivity for everybody here. So my intention now is we'll have a little moment of sharing and discussion. Then we'll finish wrapping it up with a dedication, like a little mini meditation on where we can take all the positivity that we've practiced. So I'd love to hear a nice moment that you had in that meditation. Garden Hills, I see your status says, I don't know you, but I love you. That's pretty great. Have you got something you'd like to share from our kindness meditation?
I have made 2 recent friends recently, and they have quickly become really good friends. So they were the ones that were kind of there during my meditation, and it's really helped me just truly appreciate them right now. I had already appreciated their company, but right now I feel like extremely blessed to have them in my life.
Wonderful. something I hope that each of you will remember at some point is that, yeah, we can feel good about our friends, and then we meditate on it, and it's like we feel it so much more. And sometimes when we're out of meditation mind, like just remembering how good meditation is a bit of a disconnect. So I encourage you all to meditate often, so you're just more often in the meditation mind, more often really cherishing the people in your life and really feeling the peace inside. And yeah, thanks for sharing, Garden Hills. Pops, how was that meditation for you?
I could think of people that I wanted to feel compassion for, but I didn't really feel the desire to be emotional. I chose to just think that I appreciate that person and I'll be kind to them when I see them, but I just for some reason opted to not feel like or like allow myself to be like filled with emotion.
You know, I often say feel it, but actually what you just did is just as valid, just as great for meditation. I'm sure in whatever way you were thinking of kindness, whatever you cultivated and practiced is excellent. So please give yourself the complete okay. You don't have to feel it. There's so many other ways to appreciate and to be kind. Maybe there was things you had to think about or decide about kindness. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So Nock has said I should let one of my friends know again how nice it is to know her. She takes good care for you. That's wonderful, Nock. You're so lucky to have a friend who takes care of you, and I'm glad you're going to let them know. Alright, I'll give everybody just a minute more if anyone has a question or would like to share. Then we're going to do our wrap up. What should I do about too many people wanting to spend time with you? Wow, it's a good problem to have. Some things I've found is to focus on the people who enrich you, the people that you want to do things together with. Perhaps I could ask you to, better than any answer I could give you, if you imagine your ideal life, like what would your perfect social life be like, your work life, your creativity life, like, you know, all the kinds of interactions you should have with people, not just socializing, but maybe you make music with some people, maybe you make art, maybe you make pizzas with some people. You imagine your ideal life and then focus on the relations that take you in that direction. And you're so popular that more people want your time than is easy for you to give. Perhaps you could host events in VRChat where everyone gets to be there in your presence, but with other people as well. Perhaps you could tell people, hey, I'm really quite busy now, and tell them something you like about them, but that you're not really available at the moment. Maybe you could use that. Perhaps people want to hang out with you. Maybe you want to throw parties, or maybe you want to bring them to the temple, or maybe there's some creative project you're doing. You could invite them to comment on it or contribute to it somehow. They might enjoy just being part of the experience of you. So I've definitely had times in my life where I had a lot more people interacting with me than I had time for. And now I have a lot less. And I think that was because of just me being less available. So I hope you also spend time appreciating like the gift that you've got right now. And yeah, I think I'll go back to what I said. If you envisage your ideal life, create those relationships that will take you in that direction, and how's the awesome you going to respond to the people where it's not so fulfilling? How do you give them a chance to make it awesome in a way that if it's not going to go in that direction for you, I mean, maybe you could be an awesome friendship maker. You could like introduce some of the people to each other and be like, hey, you guys might be great friends, and helps them be happy, and maybe it's less of your time. Sorry that was not a conclusive answer. I hope some of those ideas may be helpful for you. Search engine?
With this meditation, I definitely have gained some compassion and such for my recent friends that I have gained. I've recently gotten myself out of a very controlling and toxic situation and started getting back out there. And I've recently made new friends again. To the point they have no clue what I'm doing, and they've just been waiting for me for the last hour. And I want to feel the compassion for them. I want to feel the love for them. I guess I'm trying to find a way to find that trust again.
I'm sorry to hear. You know, I've had some people who I let very close who ended up being unbelievable liars about others and also then about me. And I had my trust completely broken. What helped me through that was deciding that I wanted to trust and be safe, so I can give love and happiness, and also be careful about where I put people. And that might sound simple. It took time for the feeling of trust to come back, and it's different to how it used to be. But yes, the fact that you want it to come back, that you've set that intention, means your mind and your feelings will go in that direction. And perhaps you can also honor, hey, there's a part of me that wants to be careful. Maybe I can figure out a way to be careful that's also fun and lighthearted and playful, and what's the kind of things that I can really share openly, that it's okay to share them, and what are the things that maybe it's more important to make things in a way where I am safe and supported. Maybe you also have some friends or family that you don't talk to as much, but that would be rock solid support for you, and maybe talking to them can remind you what trust and support is like. I'm so sorry that you were in that situation. I hope you can feel that in some way I can relate and that I care, and maybe you can just remember that there are good people out there who care, and I hope that thought also heals you, brings you strength, brings you comfort.
Thank you. And I'm so sorry that you can relate.
Yeah, it sucked. It still sucks sometimes. Yeah. One of those people came up during this meditation, and
convenient.
I definitely didn't have a good reaction when they came to mind, and I just had to find how can I let that person go from my mind. And most of the time I never think of them.
Sorry. Well, through my meditation, I did think of a lot of those other people that did end up breaking my trust, and have kind of got me in the blockage right now. But the nice thing about this meditation is that I got to still smile and wish them well.
Wow,
that was a good part.
That's awesome. I was going to say, hey, the idea is you start with the people where it's easy and you make that better and better, and eventually you've got this good feeling that you can then send out to those people. So, good job. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's what I'd encourage, is when you do this meditation, focus on the people where it's the most easy, where it feels great, where it's invigorating, where it's beautiful. And as you make those beautiful feelings bigger and stronger, then eventually you can tackle the harder people later. Yeah. Hey, I say this when people share something vulnerable. Thank you for keeping it real, for making these sessions real. You know, I can talk about infinite peace and love, but if we're not applying it to the hard stuff in life, you know, it could just sound fanciful. So, thanks for sharing, and I hope that what I shared back was the beginning of helpful.
Thank you for letting me share it.
Yeah, and I hope when you go and hang out with your friends that you go and have a really good time. Okay, I think on that note, I'm going to do our wrap up. So we've heard some ideas today. We've done some practices. And I hope the practices themselves and the ideas felt good. But I also hope that you can see that it's the beginning of something. It's a seed that's planted. Breathing meditation, when done every day, makes us more empowered to let go of the broken trust. It makes us more empowered to step into joy. It forges that core of freedom. Relaxation techniques, the more we practice them, the more our bodies can just feel really at ease. And the beautiful feelings, whether it's relaxation or peace or calm, is a beautiful thing to practice. And then compassion. You know, the world has so much hurt, and we can be ambassadors for love, for ourselves and for others. And I hope that you can see that everything I just said is so much bigger than what I just said. The profound transformation of being mentally aware, it's bigger than I can put into words. The love and kindness that we can grow if we do it regularly is just so much more beautiful than we can even imagine now. And so I want us to just dedicate everything you learned today and everything you practiced. Cherish it. Keep growing it. Give it the attention and the emotions and the thoughts and the time that it deserves. Dedicate what you learned to your future self and to your friends. That you have this positivity that you've grown and that you can then share. And when we sit to meditate, if we envisage a little bit of calm, that's what we'll practice. If we envisage full power, enlightenment, perfect peace, infinite love, that's what our mind cultivates. So may we dedicate the positivity that we learnt today to the best that you can imagine, the most beautiful feelings, the most wonderful caring for you and for everybody. Let's be ambassadors for that enlightened world. So we're going to finish with a bow. I want you to bring your hands to your heart. I want you to know that I care about you and that I see awesome inside of you. I'm going to bow honoring that part of you, and I want you to bow to that awesome part of yourself as well. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm going to stop the stream if we want to hang out or talk about anything. And it's been a pleasure sharing with you all. And I love that guiding these 3 meditations was a gift to myself. And so I hope you also find opportunities to share meditations with others and to talk about cultivating kindness or practicing peace. As you share it with others, it helps you so much.